Good evening. Welcome to Robert's Reading Room and Reviews. I'm so excited to finally be able to sit down to do this review. I've been meaning to do it for like over 4 weeks, but this book left me with my mouth wide open to the point I was like, I need to just get my mind together on what I want to talk about in this book because it was just that exciting. This is the second book I've read by this author. I just want to say I'm very impressed with her work. If I had time, I would love to sit down and read her whole catalog. With no further ado, I am talking about Mrs. Wiggins by Mary Monroe. Mrs. Wiggins by Mary Monroe, which is my second book by her. I read the first book I read from her was in 2016. It was She Had It Coming. I was on vacation. It was in November, around my birthday anniversary. And I just want to say, when I was reading that book, I was like, wow, she's a different kind of author. She writes outside of the box. And if you are like me, an avid reader that wants to read something different, check her out, please. Because she would have your mind just to turn in and you'd be like, what did I just read? And you'll go back and like to make sure you read what you just previously read. Okay, let me get to this book. From the first 3 pages, my mouth was wide open because you have Mrs. Wiggins, who is married to her husband, who is her husband is Hubert. Hubert Wiggins. And I just want to say that everything, sometime in life, you see something and everything is not what it seems. Some people go through life and they portray an image of how public see them and they try to uphold that image. And to me, they're not real. They're not being real. In some sense, to me, they're not living in reality either. If that makes sense, you will have to just read the book and you understand what I'm talking about. But Miss Wiggins is my favorite character in this book. And some of those of you who read this book probably look at me with a side eye. But I feel like she was taken advantage of in the situations that took place throughout this book. The characters in this book I really didn't like was we had, let's see, Daisy. I couldn't stand her. Over I hope I'm saying that right. Orville Overill. I couldn't stand him. That was Mrs. Wiggins' best friend, who is Jesse's husband. The way he treated her and their child, I was like wanting to go through this book and just like, oh, that's the second. It was, I would say, it was like maybe 4 characters in this book I just did not like. Daisy, Overall, Mr. Oswell. That was Mrs. Dowell brother, and it was another. Oh, Mr. Roster. Roster. I did not like him either for what he did. I will say this, Mrs. Dowell, she showed how not all Caucasian white people is racist, ignorant, prejudiced, however you want to put it. She really loved Mrs. Wiggins, and it's sad how that whole situation unfolded. I will say this too. One moment in this book was when Miss Wiggins was talking about going to the unemployment, filing for unemployment because she lost her job, and she was like the next person up, and then this white lady came in, and how she got to go in front of Mrs. Wiggins. And I was just reading that part, and I was like saying to myself, you know what? I'm glad I was not born back in this all taking place like from 1917 to 1936 was the first part of the book. I couldn't live in that era because I would be dead. I just wouldn't. I just couldn't. I couldn't live like that. Mm-mm. Um, I just want to say, in the way, the only thing I will say this about Miss Wiggins I didn't like was how she did Rudolph. Now that was wrong. That was just flat out wrong. I did not like how she did that whole situation. But back to Daisy, what goes around comes around for her and Mr. Oswald Wall and Orver. I just want to say I thoroughly enjoyed this book. I was scheduled to go get a massage. I remember the Friday, and I had just read something in this book, and it blew my mind so bad. You're not gonna believe what I'm gonna say, but I'm gonna say it. I went to go leave, locked myself out of the house. That's how much this book I was invested in. I mean, it was just that good. This is one of the best reads I've read so far. One of the ones of 2021. So please, this is definitely a 5 star. If you don't read nothing else this year, please pick up Miss Wiggins by Mary Monroe. You would not be disappointed. I want to say what I take from this book is that don't be real. Don't try to uphold an image for public, for certain people, and be careful what you pray for. Please be careful what you pray for. If you don't believe me, read this book and see what I'm talking about, where I'm coming from. I just want to say thank you for those who support Robert's Reading Room and reviews. I want to give a shout out to one of my biggest supporters, that's author Carrie Anderson. Please, if you don't, check her out. She's on Amazon. Secrets of Lies is like my favorite by her. She has other books that I've read by her. I need to read more, but please check her out. Carrie Anderson, excellent author. I just want to thank those who support Robert's Reading Room and Reviews. If you have not subscribed, Robert's Reading Room and Reviews, my YouTube channel, my Instagram is Robert's Reading Room, my Facebook group is Robert's Reading Room and Reviews. I have a book giveaway coming real soon, so please, if you can, follow me. And again, Mrs. Wiggins, Mary Monroe, you will not be disappointed. Thanks those who support. Thanks for watching, and please subscribe if you have not done so. Good night.